let's face it, there are a lot of risks when you decide to go out on your own. You know the old adage about not quitting your day job? Well, I think that's only because people think that they have the right idea, but they actually don't. Let's talk about the 5 truths about being your own boss that no one else is willing to tell you. And one of them is going to show you how you can work less and make more. So stay tuned. The first truth is that you may be trading 40-hour work weeks for someone else to work 100-hour weeks for yourself. But when you do it right, it is freedom. It's not easy, but it's worth every second. When I was in a 9-to-5 as a dental hygienist, my dream was to have freedom. And I thought that making 6 figures a year, $100,000 would be just the best thing ever. I dreamed of having no time constraints, no one telling me where to be and when, to not have to ask permission for time off to travel or even to take time off for an appointment. When I started my business, the dream was to find enough clients to create financial freedom. And like I said, I was new to business. I thought being able to make $100,000 would be the best thing ever. I never imagined anything more was possible yet. So when I reached the level of a 6-figure business, I found that the level of income didn't also mean the same level of happiness. I was always good at what I did for my clients, but it didn't always feed my spirit, make me happy. Some of my clients were more grief than fulfillment. My mindset at the time was say yes to every opportunity, never turn down income. What I didn't realize was that saying no is actually saying yes to only the opportunities that are right for you. Warren Buffett says the big difference between successful people and really successful people is that the really successful people say no to almost everything. So when I finally learned to say no to most things and only yes to the things that were in alignment with my goals, that is when I found true time and financial freedom. And in that, working more than 40 hours a week at times doesn't feel like hard work because it's work that I love. And by the way, leave a comment below to share what freedom means to you. Is it financial freedom, creative freedom, time freedom? What does that look like? Is it a certain amount of money? Is it a feeling? Tell me about it below. Saying no and making that transition was honestly easier said than done. I fired a client for the first time, and then a few more after that. And then most of the rest I had left. And I found myself in a place where I lost myself in my business. I was having panic attacks and breakdowns. I couldn't afford to let them go, but I also couldn't afford not to. I didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't love the work that I did. It didn't align with the purpose and the impact that I'm here to make. I knew that for me to create a lifestyle of freedom and impact and to build the business that would fuel it, I needed to be in alignment with myself first. I needed to become the person who could create that business and life. Which brings me to my second truth, is that entrepreneurship is a game of personal development. Your business blocks are your personal blocks. And it meant being vulnerable. It meant digging out my heart and leaving it on display for people to either admire and come with me on this journey or even to spit at or stab at. And I believe that I had a good share of all the above. And being vulnerable and really honest with myself was one of the most painful things I ever experienced, and worth it. I always thought that I needed to say yes to everything, like I said, and to have this facade to show people that I was good enough, that I was worthy. Well, 2 problems with that sentence. Number 1, the facade. I thought that I should be anything other than what I am, and that I'd put on a mask for so long that it took time to find the real me. And number 2, that I put my worthiness into anyone else's hands. In making these transitions in my business from saying no to only saying yes to the right opportunities for me, from me developing personally to grow in the direction that was really in alignment with me, required me to get vulnerable. And what happens when vulnerability leaves you with cuts and bruises? Scar tissue. And it might not be pretty, but it's stronger. And my whole life, have you ever been told this? I was encouraged to have thicker skin. And I assumed that something was wrong with me if I was sensitive or hurt easily, until I realized that my sensitivity is a gift and that I can lead with my vulnerability to allow others to feel safe. So in that, I stopped saying yes to everything and said no more than ever. I decided that everything I said yes to in my business and my life had to be in alignment with my values. From there, the glass ceiling was raised. 6 figures was no longer the limit, but the biggest mindset change wasn't about the money. It was about finding the right clients, the ones that I loved, that were happily, generously excited to pay the invoices and work with me, that would provide me the financial, the money, the lifestyle that I want so that I could have the lifestyle and be the person that I wanted to be. It was reversed. It was about being the person, living the lifestyle, attracting the clients who were also in alignment with that impact and purpose. The money was just a resource. So before I get into the next truth about being your own boss, have you subscribed to this channel yet? If not, be sure to hit that red button, subscribe, because I'm putting out videos like this every week. The third truth of being your own boss is that the majority of your belief systems are going to be challenged. I don't think people realize that you bring in so many false beliefs into your business until you learn and evolve from your previous operating system. I believed, for example, and tell me if you have too, that for me to make more money, I had to work harder. I had to put in more hours and trade more hours for dollars. How limiting would that be if I continued to operate from that? Or I also used to believe that if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. Well, we only have so many hours in a day. How limiting would that be? Our subconscious identity drives our behavior. And as an entrepreneur, your identity should always be changing, or else you'll always remain the bottleneck in your business. Even and especially your money blocks will affect you in your business. So ask yourself what you believe about money too, and if that's affecting what's showing up for you externally. My fourth truth is that if you need more time, you need more team. Kind of like what I just said. I used to think that if I want something done right, I have to do it myself. Well, even though I can do accounting and bookkeeping, doesn't mean I should. Even though I can do all the data entry and admin stuff, doesn't mean I should, because that's not my best superpower, my zone of genius that's gonna move the business forward the most. If you've ever heard the phrase, what got you here won't get you there, it's true. What got you here will kill you. If I continued operating like that, I may have burnt out and gave up before ever scaling past 6 figures. I never would have been able to reach the multiple 7 figures that we have today. And I say we very strongly because I know that I can't do this alone, which is now why my focus has shifted from tactical management to transformational leadership with my team. That is what can make us better bosses and be a better example from our team. When we shift from doer to delegator, from manager to leader, and the only way for you to scale is to grow a team. So here's where your identity shifts from doer to delegator, which can be hard for entrepreneurs who like to have control, which is every single one of us. That's why we started this business. So we go from doer to delegator. That identity shift requires you overcoming your limiting beliefs. If I believed that I had to do everything myself, I would miss out on the incredible opportunity and wonderful learning experience of creative collaboration with a team member. And I'd also miss out on the opportunity for my own personal development and growth and becoming a leader, and also exploring other skills when you have your time back. And you only have so many hours in a day. So your business will not scale if you insist on remaining the bottleneck and doing everything yourself. My fifth and final, and I think most important truth, is that sometimes working less equals making more and having more growth in your business and in your personal development. As your identity shifts based on the role you play in your own business, you may feel insecure. You may question your value, or if anyone even needs you. And maybe hearing that might sound silly, like, no way, it'd be a dream to have a business that runs itself and makes money without me. But because we built this thing, it's our baby. And then we can unintentionally become a bottleneck again, trying to insert ourselves in places that aren't necessary, trying to be useful and find things to do. And this is where the most valuable thing we can do as a leader is sit and think and dream and read and learn and vision, which on the outside doesn't look productive. If you, like me, had the belief that you have to work hard to get what you want and defined hard work by things that were challenging or difficult, sitting, dreaming, thinking, learning, visioning on the outside might feel like stagnant. If someone had told me years ago that I had to work less in order to grow my business, I just straight up would think that's insane and couldn't be possible. I grew up with the belief system that nothing worth having comes easy and you have to work hard to get what you want. So I operated my business with this belief and thought if I wanted to make more money, I just had to work harder. Just put in more hours and show up earlier and stay later and do hard things. So just for a moment, let's define what that means to work harder. Does that mean it has to be painful or backbreaking? Are we implying that the work we do can't possibly be enjoyable? That's where entrepreneurship began to expose my limiting beliefs, because the harder I worked still kept me the bottleneck and didn't translate into more money, maybe just more exhaustion and poor decisions. If you, like me, had the belief that you had to work hard to get what you want and defined hard work by things that were challenging or difficult, the idea telling you that you need to slow down might seem like moving backwards, but that is your job, to set the vision, to create the mental image of the future direction that you're going and bring that back to your team to inspire them. There's a difference between tactical management, where you are saying, here's what to do, and then do that, and then go do the next thing, and then you keep coming back and forth with these like, get this done. It's almost like micromanaging. I don't want to do that. No one wants to be micromanaged. There's that versus transformational leadership, where you set the vision, you create the lateral accountability, you be the example and show the direction where we're all going together. And with that, the team can grow and move in the direction together, and you can have other team members overseeing rather than you being the doer. You get to be the delegator and the visionary. And think about your other favorite visionaries or innovators or entrepreneurs that inspire you. What do you imagine them doing in their day-to-day to build their world-changing businesses? Can you imagine Walt Disney doing his own bookkeeping rather than dreaming up the storyboards for Snow White? Creativity requires space. You signed up for this when you started your business, and business is a game of constant development. And your business will only grow to the level that you do. You have false belief systems that are causing you to hit a ceiling, and most of us are unaware of what they are. But what we can do is lift the blinders by going through that personal development, by having that time to think and create and dream, and it'll all be exposed to us. I know that I made decisions around money because of my belief systems. I know I had insecurities in hiring team members and was an insecure leader. I made decisions operating from the only lens I knew. So every human has beliefs and experiences that act like a windshield in front of us, and every lens is different. As you're on your journey and being your own boss, I hope these 5 truths support you along the way, and I'd love to hear which one was your favorite of the 5 truths. I've also compiled the secrets of business acceleration that I've learned over the years into a private training, and I want to give you access to my highest performing, most revenue generating campaigns that you can actually just plug and play into your business to maximize your lead generation and sales. So if you click the link in the video description below, you can attend my next free private training where I'll be showing you exactly how to ascend leads from hello to high ticket. I'd love to hear from you. What does I had to put in more hours, trade more, but as you're on your journey in becoming